Hi and welcome to Communications 2, COMM 202. If you were not able to be with us during our seminar this week, I've recorded this presentation for you so that you're not feeling like you've missed anything important. So what we'll do here, first introductions. Obviously I can't get introductions from you. I will introduce myself. We'll talk a little bit about how this course works. We'll talk a little bit about labs, what the class has decided about labs, and then we'll talk a little bit about due dates. So first of all, my name is Peter Laurie. I'll be your instructor for this term. I answer to a number of different things. You can call me Mr. Laurie, you can call me Peter. If you can't ever remember my name, I do also answer to Sir. There's my email address. In terms of getting to know you, I will be taking attendance at the beginning of each and every seminar. It's not part of your grade, but it's a one technique I will use to get to know who you are. So how this course works, so this course is a fully online course. Some of you may have done Communications 1 fully online, and some of you may have done it, if you did it earlier, partially face-to-face. So this course is fully online, and here's how it breaks out. Roughly 1 hour online at your convenience, what we're calling self-directed learning. And what that basically means is logging on to the course page on Desire to Learn and doing the weekly reading and other interactive activities that we have there for you. Then we have the one hour seminar, which is every Monday morning at 11 from 11 till 12. Now there is also support time available to you. I'm calling it a lab. It's not really a lab. What the class decided this week is that instead of having a set scheduled hour, which is the same every week for everybody in the class, that you would all know that you can contact me at any point to arrange a meeting for one-on-one support. If you look at the condensed course outline that I emailed to everybody last week, and that's also on the course page, the course is divided into 3 units. Each unit is built around supporting your skills uptake for a major assignment. The other way that we can introduce you to the course is to talk about how a typical week in the course looks, how it plays out. So let's have a quick look at this. So the pattern we're looking at weekly starts before you come into seminar on Monday. And that is what we had referred to a moment ago as self-directed learning. You're going to go on to Desire to Learn, onto the course page, read the news item for each week, click the link to go to the self-directed learning. Now we're going to be using the acronym SDL to refer to that self-directed learning. On a week in which there is a blog post due or a discussion post due, you are also completing those course elements on your own time. And then when we meet in real time in our Monday morning seminar, our goal there is to reinforce what we have learned in the self-directed learning on the course page, to apply it, to discuss it. And even though we have a relatively large class, we do build that seminar around, as much as possible, activities and kind of question-answer format as well. So the third element, which I just talked about a moment ago, is what I'm only provisionally calling lab, and that is that support time one-on-one that is available to you whenever you need it. So I'm just going to skip over this because we have just talked about this. In this week's seminar, the class did vote on their preference, and everybody has decided on this drop-in support lab time being on an as-needed basis. Due dates for assignments. So if you are happening to be looking at the weekly schedule right now, you'll notice that roughly every week you have a blog post or an online discussion post due. Regardless of what week those are in, those are all going to be due Sundays at 11:59 p.m. So for instance, if we take a look at week 2 of the condensed course outline, that's when your first blog post is due. And what that means is that that blog post will be due at the very end of week 2 on the Sunday night. Okay, so that's actually the end of next week, the Sunday night. Same thing, week 3, your first discussion post is due. It's due at the end of that week on the Sunday night. And don't worry, I will also be sending out regular reminders to you as well. There will also be in-class activities, so that's a portion of your grade that is unscheduled. It won't happen in every seminar, but when it does, the way that will work is that at the end of the seminar, I will pop a question to the class, something that requires a written response, and that will be due after the seminar is over. I will be more precise about that when we get to it, and you will be submitting each of those in-class activity responses in the spot for it on the discussion board for in-class activities. Major assignments. So there are 3 major assignments in the course. Again, I'm referring you back to that condensed course outline, which lists which week each major assignment is due and how it's due. Is it due through a Dropbox, etc. Let's be a little bit more specific though. So for your first major assignment, which is the discourse community assignment, that you'll be doing that in 2 stages, a rough draft and a final copy. The rough draft will be due in week 4, and I'm being very specific here. It will be due at the beginning of that week, and the date here, Monday, June 7th by midnight. The final copy of that assignment, the discourse community assignment, due in week 6, and again it will be on the Monday of that week, so Monday, June 21st by midnight. And don't worry, there will be other reminders for you. So a little bit of a note on WordPress blog. So just as you did in Communications 1, COMM 201, we will be using WordPress and you will be writing a regular blog post. One of the differences between this course and Communications 1, and I'm sure you will approve of this, is that we're not going to tell you what to blog about. What you will be doing over the next few days is that you're going to choose some kind of involvement, activity, hobby, interest that you have, something that you're passionate about, and something that fits the definition of what we're going to call a discourse community. And we don't need to go into that too much right now. All we mean by a discourse community, it's a group of people who share a common goal, and they're involved in a common activity, they share a common goal, they also share a common specialized language. Now we can use the term jargon if we want to get more specific about that. So what could that be? Well, let's say you are on a hockey team. That is a discourse community. You play hockey, but there's also, we're looking at the importance of communication in that activity, whether that's on-ice communication or group chat, whatever it happens to be. Let's say you are into hunting or fishing, and you are involved with others in doing that, and there might be there will be a communication element as well. Perhaps you're involved in an online community where people talk about places to go or whatever. So we've talked so far here about a sport, about an activity like hunting or fishing. Perhaps some of you are into gaming and you're doing that in a multiplayer environment where there are communicative elements. For instance, whatever built-in text messaging app is part of the game or whatever. So you're going to get to choose which of your interests or involvements that you'd like to blog about. If you are having trouble choosing something, please contact me. and bounce your ideas off me, and I'll do what I can to help you out. You're going to choose what you want to blog about. For each of your 4 blog posts, we're going to give you a different question or prompt. So for instance, the first blog post you're going to do, we're going to ask you to introduce us to your community, to the community that you've chosen. If you look at the assignment document on D2L for WordPress blogs, it will tell you what each of those 4 prompts are. You have 2 choices here in terms of your WordPress site. You can either use your WordPress site that you used in Communication 1, in which case I will request of you that you delete all of the content on it that you submitted as part of Communications 1, whether it's your blog posts or other assignments, because we just need the stuff that you're doing this term. Okay? You can either modify your WordPress site from Communications 1, or perhaps even easier, you could simply create a new WordPress site for this course. There is video and PowerPoint instructions on the course page for creating a new WordPress site. And your first WordPress blog post due by Sunday night, the end of week 2. I will be contacting you separately with instructions for getting your WordPress blog URLs from you, because I'm going to create a spreadsheet, and then I will distribute that spreadsheet. I'll send it out to everybody in the class. That way you can look at and comment on each other's blog posts. So I did mention a few moments ago the idea of a discourse community. I already gave you a definition: a group of people with shared goals and specialized knowledge, and looking at their different means of communicating with each other. This we're bringing up because it's going to be the basis of your blog posts, sort of something in your personal life that you're involved with, but you will also use this concept for your first major writing assignment, and that will be focused on your field of study. In other words, drilling technician. Lots of different choices, ideas for choosing a community to blog about. Like I said, if you have trouble choosing, please contact me. And if you need to meet with me one-on-one to come up with an idea, we can do that as well. So that concludes our introduction to the course. Once again, I want to welcome you to Communications 2. What you need to do next, if you haven't done so already, is open up the course page and read the self-directed learning SDL content for this week. Thank you very much, and I'll see you not next week because we have the May long weekend, but the week after.